We're live. Hello, everybody. Hello from Arizona. Not all of Arizona. The desert Arizona, the hot part of Arizona. Not all of Arizona is hot, people. Just if you've never been here, you think we're all hot desert. Not true. I could drive 2 hours in any direction and be in weather that's 25 degrees cooler than here. So anyway, that's not the point. Hello from Arizona, where I am, where it is hot, hence the summer dress. And we are on day whatever, maybe 11 of my 30-day lives. My dogs are circling underneath my chair. Okay, I'm Susanna. For all of you who are joining me for the first time, I'm glad you're here. To all of you who have been joining me, I'm so glad you're here and back. And I'm so glad that you're still listening. That is awesome because I know there's people, small amount of people, but still people who are probably not too happy that I am on day 11 or even had a day 1 of this. They would prefer it if I was just quiet. Okay, that's not happening. All right, so I'm Susanna Quintana. For those of you who are just joining me for the first time or watching this video, maybe later on for the first time, I am a narcissist recovery coach helping one woman at a time. Actually, that's really not true because I help several women at a time. Get over their narcissistic ex for good, forever, for always. We're done. We're not doing this anymore. We deserve better. Moving on into a life you deserve, okay? You've been through enough. It's time. You're ready to move. Speaking of, hello, Italy. Yes, hot there too. Hi, Deb in Ohio, where it's rainy and cool. Yeah, I mean, just like 2 hours away, it's cool and possibly rainy this afternoon. So that's what I love about Arizona, is because no matter the time of the year, you can drive sometimes just an hour and a half, but I'll say 2 hours in any direction in the state and find yourself in a totally different climate. So that's awesome because a lot of you know that I grew up here in Arizona and then I moved to Wyoming, which, hey, to all the great people of Wyoming who live there and have acclimated and love that weather, kudos to you. Because I can't hang, just probably like you guys can't hang in the heat. Cool, we'll accept we're different. But one of the things that was really hard for me in the winter in Wyoming is that I felt so stuck, right? Because it's not like you can drive 2 hours in any direction. So that's what's so awesome about Arizona. I'm just going to tell you one of the great things about our state, which I love, and which is great for healing and recovery, let me just say, because when you're in the depth of your pain and misery, and you're also in the middle of a horrible winter and it's snowing and it's freezing cold and da 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 da. Here in Arizona, you could just drive 2 hours and get to nicer weather. Like literally, there's always nicer weather 2 hours away. So in the summer, we head up to the Pines, we head up to 7,000 feet and cool off in the Ponderosas. And in the winter, everybody comes on down to the desert where we're enjoying, nice weather when everybody else is in the snow. I totally got off on a tangent there. Okay, we are talking today about what it is to divorce a narcissist. If any of you, please raise your hand or signal that you are in the midst of this fresh hell. It is fresh hell. So here's what we're going to do today. This is a good day for all of you, okay? If you're about to go through a divorce with a narcissist, maybe you're at the beginning of one or even in the middle of one, okay? So think of this like a class today, and you all are going to get an A+. Why? Because the class is called Don't Do Anything That Suzanne Did in the Divorce. See, you're going to pass. I'm going to tell you what I did, and don't do that, because I made every mistake there was to make, because I went through it alone. I had no help. I had no advice. I had a terrible lawyer who did not advocate for me personally, or think about my future, and who also charged me up. Oh, God. Okay, I'm trying not to have regret. I'm not going to have regret. I'm not going to have regret. I didn't know what I didn't know when I didn't know it, right? And I didn't know, people. I went through this divorce. I was very naive. That's what we're going to talk about today, is how, yes, Kirsten's moving from Chicago to Palm Springs partially for the healing weather. Yes. Yes. Weather is important in your healing. We'll talk about that when we talk about healing. Back to divorcing a narcissist. So here's how you're going to get an A and how you're going to survive a divorce with a narcissist. You're going to hear all the mistakes I made. My earring's falling. And then you're not going to do that. And that's how you're going to get an A+ in this class. Okay. All right. So I have, I wrote a piece on divorcing a narcissist, how to survive it successfully. It's just like, you know, it's just like a pamphlet, like when you're going to take your driver's test and they give you that pamphlet to study. So consider this like that pamphlet where you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna pass this, so that when you, if you are in a position where you, and I'm so sorry if you have to, but you're going to be prepared, and you're not going to make the mistakes that I did. Okay. Why is divorcing, that's my dog that's knocking my table. Why is divorcing a narcissist hell? No, not true. I think hell would be better. I do, because at least in hell, you know what to expect, right? You got the devil, you know what he's all about, you know what he's going to do, right? You know what hell's like, you know what's going to suck. Divorcing a narcissist is worse, because we're coming out of a place when you are, and at this time you're coming out, you're a victim of abuse at the hands of a narcissist, right? So you're coming out, and sometimes going right into a divorce, or very shortly after you've left, or he's left you, she, you can change pronouns, whatever. And we are not in good places, right? We are emotionally depleted. We're still like looking in the mirror and not knowing who that gal is that's staring back at us. We're still in the fog. Our brain is just 4 lobes of scrambled eggs. We can't, see, we don't know up from down. And then we go into a lawyer's office and we're expected to go through this intricate process of a divorce, okay? Why is it so hard? Why is it so painful? Because, let me say this, if there is a normal, there's actually, okay, so there's no normal definition there's no such thing as a normal divorce. But let's say a normal divorce would look like 2 healthy people who are separating, who have decided to go their separate ways, okay? There may still be anger, there may still be, pissed off feelings, sadness, whatever else, all of that you're separating, and the details of just separating lives and all that. And maybe somebody cheated or somebody fell in love with somebody else. Okay, not saying it's normal, but if we were to compare it to divorcing a narcissist, that is totally normal, because you have 2 healthy people. Okay, when you divorce a narcissist, you have one healthy, but who has been whipped into, like scrambled egg for brains submission, who feels crazy, feels like a doormat, feels weak, feels pathetic, all of those things, right? Who used to be healthy. Divorcing somebody who is far from emotionally healthy and who is going to do everything in their power. If you think a narcissist is bad in the marriage, hold on and buckle up. Buckle up is what I'm saying. They will surprise you again and again and again with how low they're willing to go. This is why it's so difficult, especially in the beginning, is because And women, I'm talking to you because tend to be nice, right? Okay, so when we're divorcing, we're going into it with, we still have those illusions about who he is. We still have illusions about what the marriage or what was, right? We still have these illusions that we still have this normalizing we've been doing for their behavior, right? Making excuses for them. Oh, he had a bad childhood, but look, he's nice today, even though he was an asshole yesterday, but he's nice today, so maybe that means he's changing. And yeah, all those illusions, we go into a divorce. The worst illusion we can have when we go into the beginnings of a divorce, whoever's filing, whoever's divorcing who, doesn't matter. But I will say it's worse if you're the one who's left them. It's worse, because then they have even more of a vendetta and a reason to punish you, right? So that's why it's so difficult for us, is because this is what happened to me. I went into the divorce thinking, because I was basing, I was projecting onto him that he was going to behave like I was going to behave. Okay, so remember that projection we talked about, where you're putting on somebody else what you would do. So I put on him, because this is what I was going to do. I wanted to be fair. I wanted to be equal. I wanted to be just, civil, respectful. I ran out of fingers. Those things. So I made the assumption, I projected onto him that that's what he was going to do. No, they don't. Okay? Divorcing a narcissist is like going to war. Going into battle, and you have no armor, and you think there's just going to be like one person, and then there's this like onslaught of just this overwhelming battalion coming after you to annihilate you. I know this sounds dramatic and far-fetched, but I am telling you, I have never seen with a true narcissist, I'm not talking about, people can be assholes, okay? There's a difference between people who are just assholes, and maybe they, make mistakes, and maybe they are just being, a little selfish or self-centered or whatever else. But I'm talking about true narcissists, of which my ex was diagnosed as. I'm fortunate in that I have that diagnosis because it validated, right, what I was going through. Anywho. So going into, and I am going to include my piece for later reading, so that, like I said, just consider it a pamphlet, right? Like, you're going to go take a test, study this. That's what you're going to do. You're going to get an A+. Now, I will say this, that this is going to hurt. If you're already in it, you already know. If you have children, it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt. It's going to cause you all sorts of heartbreak, stress, anxiety. We will talk about how to handle all of that when we talk about the healing process, especially at the beginning, and what you need to do to take care of yourself. So I don't want to make it sound like, oh, just follow these tips and everything will be cool, right? And you'll win. No, not true. My lawyer told me, this was somewhere in the middle, right? Because my ex was doing all sorts of lying, cheating, stealing, everything you could do that is just unethical, unfair, unequal, he was doing, right? And so at the time, because I was still living under these illusions that he was a good person and he would never do that to me, he would never, why would he want to try to annihilate me? I was the mother of his children. I was going to have, I was raising our kids still. So why would he try to annihilate me? These are the assumptions that I lived under, that I operated under, which was the most dangerous thing I could do, right? Because I'm not seeing my enemy for who he is and what his motives are. motive is. So my lawyer at the time, at one point during the process, said to me, he said, you know, there are no winners in divorce. I agree to that to a point, but when you're divorcing a narcissist, there's absolutely a winner. There's absolutely a winner and a loser, okay? Because that's how the narcissist is going into it. They look at it like a battle, a war, a game, and they're going to win at all costs. So there absolutely is. I came out a huge loser when it came to certain aspects of the divorce. Obviously, I'm the winner. I'm the big winner of the big prize, which is my freedom, okay? Yes, I'm the big winner there, right? I won the lottery when it came to my freedom, and I don't have to live with the narcs. I don't have to live with them anymore. Yes, yes, better than any prize I could have won. But I lost huge, huge financially, which set me back, which people, I'm still crawling out from that hole today after all these years because of, you know, when you spend your life with somebody that long and you're, especially in my situation when we built businesses together, right? It's not like he was working over here and I was working over here and he got a paycheck there and I got a paycheck there and we just sort of split it up. Everything was like this. And we had a lot here, right? Where did all that go? Most of it went to him. That's why I'm still recovering. Okay, again, because of these illusions that I went into it thinking, he's going to take care of me. Because he told me he would. He told me he would. And any of you with narcissists right before the lies, don't fall for it. It's just a trap. It's a trap so that you'll let your guard down, right? So he told me before I filed for divorce, he told me, and he repeated a couple of times to me, he said, in his soft, sultry, charming Latin voice, Susana, I will never hurt you. You will always be my family. Even if we get divorced, I will take care of you. Always. You're my family. You're the mother of my children. I'll always take care of you. No, that's a big lie. No, because the minute I filed for divorce, no, all bets off. No, all bets are off. It was war. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first rule that, and maybe if you're in the divorce, find out if you do have a good attorney. But the most important thing is you need to find a fantastic attorney. You need to vet them. You need to do your homework. You need to remember a lot of attorneys are narcissists, okay? A lot of attorneys are male who have their own shit, right? Who have their own chips on their shoulders against women. And so when a woman goes to that kind of male lawyer, trouble, ladies. So this is the time when you need to empower yourself, just like we were talking yesterday about don't settle for the first therapist you go to because they could very well screw you over, right? Not to say they will, because, you know, most therapists are awesome. And there are a lot of great attorneys out there. But they have better reputations for a reason. So the first thing you need to do is find a fantastic attorney who is used to dealing with high conflict divorces. And if she knows preferably a lot about personality disorders, like what it is like to divorce a narcissist. You know, I know a woman here locally who she focuses on that with her clients. She has, I think she only has female clients or mostly female clients because she specifically specializes in these high conflict with narcissists and sociopaths and stuff like that. It's not fun. I don't recommend it. I do recommend divorcing them if you're married to them. Okay, so finding an attorney who is going to advocate for you, right? Okay, because a narcissist, I'm just going back to my list so that I want to make sure that I cover everything. A narcissist is going to try to win at all costs. That's it. That's it. There's nothing really to talk more about that. They're going to try to win. If that means that you know, you're struggling for the rest of your life with money and with the kids, and well, that's what you get, honey. You know, that's what you get. I'm saying this as from a narcissist standpoint. Okay, so finding a great attorney. Second thing, you need to get rid of any and all illusions you have about this person, about your soon-to-be divorced ex. They are not going to care about your well-being or your best interests. You need to care about your well-being and your best interests, not his, okay? Here's the thing, and this is what I did, so don't do this. I operated under what I thought was fair. What I thought was fair was, hey, when we met, okay, I had a college degree and had been a business owner. I owned a restaurant, and he was a dance teacher. So we both combined our talents and acumen for, you know, for different things. So I taught him a lot about, because my parents had been in real estate and, like, you know, rented out houses and stuff like that. So I taught him everything about that. And he taught me everything about how to, because I was terrible at, like, negotiating with people. And that was back in the day when I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like to face, I was just a very quiet little mouse. So anyway, my point is we put all of our best talents together and we built businesses together that were very successful, financially speaking, okay? So what was fair? And then through that, we also, you know, we also navigated our family. So I stayed home and, you know, took care of our 3 kids while also doing the businesses and stuff like that and operating. And we had several different types of businesses. So it was a combination. There was no way, after 16 years of us together, there was no way that I could have achieved what we achieved without him. And likewise, there is no way he could have achieved what he achieved without me. So this is how I'm operating when I go into the divorce, is that we did this together. We're going to separate this together equally, okay? Here's how a narcissist thinks. What their idea of equal and fair, what their idea of fair is very different from the actual meaning of what fair is, okay? So he went into this like, all was his, and I was lucky of what he was going to give me some of it, okay? He was going to give me a little bit here and there, right? At one point during the divorce, not kidding, and here I am, you know, I had moved to Arizona. We'll talk about financial abuse on another day, but I was so in credit card debt because of him. I had just holed up in my mother's house with my kids. We're just trying to survive and get through this and, you know, make whatever, just get up in the morning and go to bed at night. That's the only thing I could focus on. And so going through that with my headspace at the time, right, which was not good, right, because I still thought he was going to take care of me. But a narcissist idea is, this is all mine. And at one point, he said through his attorney that, you know, I was an able-bodied person. That was the term that was used. I was able-bodied. I don't really know. I guess, so that, you know, I could get a job like at Starbucks or something, because they offer health insurance. And this is the shit that narcissists do. So that may all sound great, okay? Oh yeah, I'm 45, 46-year-old woman who has invested my entire life into this person, you know, had successful businesses, raised our kids together, all of that. And now I'm supposed to go start my new life at Starbucks? No, no, thank you. If I would have been able to have this list that I'm giving you, it would not be where I am today. I wouldn't still be trying to catch up. Okay, I'm just reading the comments. Yes, so Carla is saying, and this brings me to my next point. This is a business deal. We're breaking a contract, right? Wedding vows, getting married. We're breaking that contract. No emotion involved. Be patient. Never react emotionally. This is part of the list, okay? This is for women. Women, stop being nice. Stop being nice. Overall, in divorces, overall, whether it's a narcissist or not, whether it's an abusive person or not, women tend to go into divorces, the divorce process, reacting and making decisions based on their emotions. That's what I did, okay? That's a really dangerous place to be. Whereas men typically go into divorces, not saying they don't have emotions, it's not what I'm saying. Just don't email me. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that men tend to, but especially narcissists, tend to go into divorces like a business deal, taking the emotion out of it. So that's a huge mistake for women to make. I know it because I made every single mistake there was to make. It's because all my decisions were emotion-based, every single one. Okay, this goes back to, I'm just looking at my list, making sure I cover everything. This goes back to getting rid of those illusions. You're going to be in the healing and recovery process at this time. It's good that you just go there as soon as possible. And what I mean by getting rid of illusions is, okay, this is a hard one. I know this is a hard one to hear for those of you who are still in illusion land, right? Is that narcissists don't love. Like, he never loved you. My ex didn't love me. He doesn't know what love is, okay? And the illusion was that I had fallen in love with somebody who wasn't who they said they were. I fell in love with a charade, with somebody who wore a mask, and then that mask fell off. So that, in the bigger picture, is not love, right? I mean, obviously, I felt love, we fall in love, all of that. But it's an illusion that we're loving and falling in love with. That plays into when we get divorced and we still have those illusions that they care about us, they care about our future. If you're the mother of their children, they're going to care about that. That's going to be a priority. These are all illusions, and they're going to get you in trouble. They're going to get you into a lot of trouble, because not only they're going to get you into like financial trouble, because you're always going to be playing catch up and you're always going to be caught off guard and surprised by what they do. And I'll say it again, there's no low they won't sink to hurt you, or even just to get what they want, right? So not only will it hurt you in logistical ways, like financially and for your future, but it just hurts. It just hurts to be constantly surprised by somebody, right? So that's why we need to get rid of those illusions and just see them for who they are. Go back to, you don't need a diagnosis of him to be a narcissist. You don't. You know that. You already know that. You know your gut instinct what it's telling you. You know it. It's just really hard to listen to it because it's heartbreaking to realize that this person that you invested everything and loved and had children with, that's what else hurts as much as that? Okay. I'm going to look at the comments. Yeah, so like I said, women have to stop being nice. That's not going to, again, this is because what's fair in your eyes is not going to be what's fair at you. You're going to have totally different definitions of what's fair. Okay? If you're going into it, remember how I talked a lot about that's how we get into relationships with we open that door for all sorts of abusive people to come in and take advantage of us, is because of our inherent belief that all people are good, right? So that's why in the beginning I thought, oh no, he would never do fill in the blank. He'd never do that. I can't even tell you how often during the marriage to during the divorce and after he's done that. He's filled in the blank. He's done it. He's done it all. Everything that I said he would never, absolutely never, ever do, he's done it. This, getting rid of these illusions, stop normalizing his behavior. And what I mean by that is stop playing it down, see it for what it is, right? See how he's, if somebody is purposely hurting you and they know that they're hurting you, then you have to accept that they know that they're hurting you and they continue to hurt you. That means they want to hurt you. This is logic, people. Just plain logic. Okay. This is another one of the mistakes that I made when I was in the divorce process, is that, and women, we're notorious for this too, along with being nice, is that I didn't go after what I deserved, okay? There are so many instances where when we're getting a divorce, a lot of the times it's the woman who has either taken time off work to raise kids, or maybe just decided to be a stay-at-home mom to raise the kids, or what. This was an agreement, right, that you worked out, right? And the problem is that then you go into the divorce process, and because society is also backing up the fact that you stayed home, like you raised kids, like that's it. Okay. That's what I went into it, thinking I wasn't giving myself enough credit of what I deserved, of how I had contributed and been vital in the marriage. Just like I just shared, I couldn't have had all that success without him, with our businesses and financially speaking. And likewise, he couldn't have done that without me, financially speaking. I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't advocate for myself when it came time to afterward. Again, when we're in the divorce process, we're thinking emotionally and we're reacting emotionally, and we're already emotionally depleted. We're exhausted. It's hard to think. It's hard to get through, right? So it's really hard to then stand up for ourselves when it comes time to, or to think about the future. So this is another part of the list you need to do. This is how you're going to get an A+ in my class today. This is what you need to do in a divorce, is you need to think about your future. You need to think about a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. How is this going to affect you? No matter your age, you need to think about the future. And especially if you have kids, you need to think about what it's going to look like. Where are you going to live? Are you moving? Is he moving? Are you going to have to get a job? Are you going to have to change? All of this. What about your kids? What about college? Are you going back to school? All of those details need to be figured out, and you need to be the one figuring out so that you can plan ahead. Instead of be like me, where I was just I had such whiplash all the time, during the whole divorce because I was like, what? He did what? 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 He did how? No, I don't. That was me during the whole divorce. Like, constantly surprised as to what he would do, constantly upset with stomach aches. It got to a point where whenever I saw my lawyer's name in the email, I got immediately sick because I knew there was just bad news, because all he had was bad news for me all the time, right? So this leads me into my, into the other part. I don't know what number this is on the list, but anyway, this is super important. Again, how you're going to get an A+ here is that when you're, going through this, being so emotionally depleted, you have to keep in mind, goes back to the illusions that we have, is you have to remember this about a narcissist. And they already did it to you. They already tried to do this to you and were successful at it. I know that when you're in the relationship, they do this, is they will wear you down, okay? They are like a hungry toddler in the food section at Walmart who's like, I want the Doritos, I want the Doritos, I want the Doritos. And to the point you're like, take the fucking Doritos, right? That's what narcissists do in a divorce. They will wear you down. They will chip away. They will erode at your sense of all that is right in your world. They will just constantly. It's like a wolf pack that's circling its prey, right? Or when the prey, what wolves will do is that they'll chase after. And even though the wolf may be not as fast as a runner of the prey they're going after, they'll just keep following it, circling it until the prey is exhausted, right? And then they go in for the kill. This is what narcissists do. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. This is what they do. They will wear you down. This is what happened in my case, to where I called uncle. That's what I did. I called uncle because I was like, hands up, I can't do this anymore. I give up. Take what you want. I'm just so done, right? Has anybody been there, already been through that divorce where you're like, fine, just, like give your kid Doritos when the tantrum is just out of control. It's like you just I was so exhausted and I was hurting. And I thought, okay, if this divorce is over, then he'll just go away, right? He'll get on that one-way ticket to Madagascar like I had always hoped, and I'll never hear from him again, right? Because I'm not thinking logically. Because I'm just, my brain is a mess. I can't think rationally. I can't think logically. I can't have a clear picture of in the moment. And so I did. I cried uncle. That's what he wanted me to do, and I did it. That's a huge tip for all of you out there. Don't let them wear you down. And when you do start getting worn down, remind yourself they're doing this on purpose. They're doing this on purpose to get you weak so that you'll just give up and give them the money and give them the house and give them the whatever they want. Give them the custody or whatever it is. Don't underestimate how, they're relentless. Yes, Carla says this wearing you down and causing chaos is their oxygen. Look at it as a marathon. Oh, that's great. That's great. Great way to put it. Thank you for that. Yes, for them, they got all the time in the world, because you have to understand, between you and the narcissist, you're in totally different places emotionally. Like the narcissist, he's full of energy and pep and vigor, and he's got all the time in the world to keep doing what he's doing, because you're the one that's been the victim of him, right? So you're the one that's depleted. You're the one that's exhausted and worn out and all of that. So think of it like a marathon. Okay, Bonnie, we're going to talk about that. She's asking about children that are brainwashed from their narcissistic parent. Yes, we're going to talk about that on I don't know what day yet, but that's going to be a whole topic, is the kids. Oh, remember I told you, yes, I was like, I have no more open wounds. I have only scars. I lied. That's my one open wound, is my kids. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to let the narcissist, don't let him wear you down. In that same vein, never lose sight of your future. Never lose sight of your future. It's really hard. You know, it was impossible for me, but I didn't have anybody to hold my hand and guide me through it, or to offer a voice of reason, you know. So it was impossible for me to think about the day after tomorrow, let alone 5 years from now. Okay, well, that was a huge mistake, because now it's 5 years ago and I'm paying for it big time financially. Again, I won the big prize. So I'm here and I'm happy and awesome and all of that. All the good things in life are happening. So I won the big prize, but it would have been nice if I wouldn't have made those mistakes. Okay. This is something, this is, now we need to just look at facts, which is going to explain why you need to be super, super smart in a divorce and advocate for yourself. These are the facts. Look them up. They're facts. The facts is that in this country, men come out better off financially than women after a divorce. If those men are fathers, right? You guys are parents and you're getting a divorce. Fathers come out significantly richer than mothers do. Mothers' income tends to, or cost of living, all of that, tends to fall by 3 to 5 times less than when she was in the marriage. Hallelujah, I'm here to say that's true, okay? So think about that. Think about that. Why is that? That fathers come out, that men come out significantly richer out of a divorce, right? Especially fathers, like in my case. He's not the one with any mouths to feed. I was. Well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, he has his Russian child bride, but she's really tiny. I don't think she eats much. So. Anyway, this is a fact, people. Women, this is a fact. There is a reason for that. One of those, I mean, obviously, this is not talking about solely narcissists. This is just overall between men and women in this country getting a divorce. So think about that. When you have the added burden of divorcing a narcissist who is going after you intently to try to take everything away from you, right? Or make your life as difficult as possible, because narcissists are punishers. They are punishers. They're going to get you back. And I'm telling you what, especially if you left them, oh, they're going to get you back. They're going to try to, right? These are things that you want to be aware of so that you can take care of yourself and have a future, you know, so you're not so hard up, especially if you have children. You want to be able to be there for your children and not have the added stress of finances and stuff like that to worry about. This is why it's so important to advocate for yourself. This is why it's so important, crucial. It's a deal breaker to have a bad lawyer. Just look at it that way. There is no, well, maybe he'll be okay. No, you have to have an excellent lawyer. Again, that was a mistake that I made. I didn't vet lawyers. I just went to a guy that I knew. We used to teach him He used to be a student. We used to teach him dance lessons. So that's what I did. That's all I knew. I didn't know anything else. Going through this process. Okay, so lawyers. I think you're talking about lawyers. Kirsten asked, how do you know if they are good or not? Ask him questions about, tell him that you're dealing with, you know, if you know he's or ask him questions. Hey, do you know what a narcissist is? Do you know what are you really knowledgeable about high conflict divorces? How do you feel about XYZ? You know what I mean? And then also, again, when you're advocating for yourself, my mistake was that I was just like, okay, here's my case, Mr. Lawyer Man. You just tell me what, because I didn't know. You know what I mean? I should have gone in there with, this is what we have, right? Y'all are smart. You're smarter than the narcissist. Don't let them convince you otherwise. You're smarter than them. You can do this. So I should have advocated for myself by getting all those questions ready, knowing what we had as a couple, standing up for myself and saying, I have committed myself for 16 years to this marriage. We have built these businesses together. We are very successful. I need my fair share moving out of this, because I am also raising our children, which is the most important factor in a divorce. If you're going to be the one, if you have children and you're going to be the one continuing to raise those children, now as a single parent, as a single mom, right? You have got to you need to stand up, put your hands on your hips and say, I got an important job to do, so I need to be taken care of. So all these details, I mean, obviously everything differs state by state, and, you know, I used to live in a super small town, so I didn't have a lot of access to more resources, more help, more guidance. But I think that the key thing here, like I said, is how you're going to get the A+. You already got an A+ if you're listening, is that you're going to drop these illusions you have of the narcissist, of the one who has been purposely hurting you and causing you pain. Okay? You accept that, no more illusions. You're not going to be nice. That doesn't mean you're going to be mean. That's not what that means. Just because you're not nice, because that's what I was growing up. That's what fucks me all sorts of up, right? That's how I grew up, with a father who said, if you're not nice, you're mean. If you're not mean, you're nice. So I didn't want to be mean, so I was nice all the time. And then my dad he didn't give me compliments, well, maybe twice, but one time he said I was nice. And I was like, yes, I did it. I got a compliment. Yes, he likes me. I'm nice. And so what did I do? Then I was super nice. So not being nice does not mean you're mean. And guess what? Who the fuck cares? You are a woman. Don't let society's definition of that women can't be angry, women can't stand up for themselves, women can't go for, the men are doing it. Like the men that are in the divorces, they're going for it, right? They're standing up for themselves, and so you can too. But especially divorcing a narcissist, this is where, and if you have kids, use them to tell yourself. If you can't muster up the self-esteem and the self-worth because you're just so emotionally depleted, which makes sense, I get it, I've been there, I understand, you know, when you get conditioned and beaten down on such a regular basis, and you're gaslighted and smeared and lied to and deceived and manipulated for so long, I get it. It's like you think you're shit, like you're not even the dirt on the bottom of his shoe, right? You're so low. So I get that. So use your kids as a reason to cowboy up and do what you need to do for your future, because you deserve this. And I'm telling you, and this is what I tell the women that I work with, because when you're in the divorce, you can't see clearly, you can't think clearly, right? So I tell them, let me give you this perspective, which is what I've been doing today, so that you don't make those mistakes you're going to regret, like I did. I didn't know I was making mistakes when I was in it, but you can damn sure believe that I regretted them later. I'm trying not to regret them. I am trying to let that shame go. I do sometimes get a little pissed off at myself. It's okay. I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I just didn't know what I didn't know at the time, right? Bonnie's asking if I feel that female attorneys are more aware and educated. I don't know overall if they're more educated on divorcing a narcissist. I do believe, because if you think about it, the majority of the court systems are filled with men, the judges, the lawyers, police, they're filled with men, right? So it's nice, if you're a woman, it's nice to find a woman who can advocate for you, because women tend to, I'm not generalizing, not all the time, not saying all women are great, not saying that at all. We all know that that's not true, but the majority, right? It's nice in a traumatic process such as divorcing a narcissist to find a female that can advocate for you in a lawyer position or just as an advocate, as a legal advocate, because they know what it's like to be a woman in this process. They know what the statistics are. They know what the facts are. Like I told you about how men come out of it richer than women do. So that would be my, if I could do it all over again, oh man, that would be like another show. Yeah, I would do everything different again. And I'd be in such a great place financially today. I'm in a great place in every other aspect. But so these are all my mistakes. You're welcome. Don't do them. And then you get an A. A+. I don't want to make light of the fact that divorcing a narcissist is hell. No matter if you don't make any mistakes and you do everything right, it's still hell. It is. Recovery and healing is hell. But you can lessen the pain and definitely lessen the future regret if you're smart and if you take steps to protect yourself, advocate for yourself, drop the illusions about who you're dealing with, stop being nice. That's hard. That's hard for me. But now I'm all good with it. I'm super good with it. I'm super kind. I don't get called nice as often because that's how, that's how it is in our culture, right? If women aren't nice, then they're mean, then they're bitches, right? We're not buying that. I'm not buying into that. That's stupid. It's not true. So don't be nice. Be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself in this process. Take care of your kids if you have them going through this. And then let's talk tomorrow about, let's just continue on this road since we're in the divorce with going into the kids. What about those kiddos, right? We'll talk about that tomorrow and how that affects them, what you can do as the healthy parent to protect them too, as you're protecting and taking care of yourself. Okay, so thank you for tuning in today for my longer, as always, than 30-minute Facebook Live. I am just really grateful that y'all are here, and I want to talk directly to those of you who are, maybe you've just left, maybe you're just entering the divorce process, maybe you're soul deep in it and just suffering and hurting and feeling all alone, I want you to know I'm here for you. This is my specialty, is walking women through the process when it comes to the kids and all the things that the narcissists do, right? Oh, just to interject, I do have one good thing to say about narcissists. One. They're all the same. They all behave the same. They're so predictable, okay? That's all. One thing. This is how I help, right? Is that I've been there, I know what they do, I know how they act, and I also know what to do to get you through it, right? Because understanding that it's such a difficult process to go through when you're just not feeling like yourself, you're exhausted, and you can't see straight. So reach out to me. You can send me a private message if you want. So Sarah's asking, why are they all the same? They all behave the same. That's why when I tell my story, when other people, you hear people tell their story about, I was with a narcissist and this is what she did. Everybody's like, oh my God, that's what happened to me, right? That's why they're all the same. They're all gaslighters, pathological liars. They smear you, they bait and switch you, they hoover you, they're punishers. They'll try to annihilate you in a divorce. They will smear you to your own kids. I could go on and on and on. It's like they all do the same shit. They just do it to varying degrees. That's all. So this is my specialty, is helping you get through that, so that when you get to the end of it, there's no regrets, because you don't make mistakes based on your emotional capacity at the time that you're going through this, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste into here. If you'd like to hop on a call with me, this week I don't have, I'll open some stuff up for next week. I don't have anything open yet. I have to, I'll do that probably tomorrow. But there's a couple days, I think, later this week. So there's my schedule. I put in the divorcing a narcissist. Yes. Okay, great. Also, a lot of you know Chris Godinez. She and I travel around the country. I'm trying to talk and copy and paste at the same time. That's really hard. So we travel around the country and talk all things narcissist. I'm putting up the Eventbrite schedule of where we're going to be. We're going to be in Reno next on September 14th, and then the whole schedule for the rest of the year, and I think a little bit going into next year. December, we're going on a cruise. But if you're anywhere in the Reno area, I hope you can join us. I think there's still tickets left available. We limit it to a small group so that, you know, we can talk one-on-one, and you know, Chris and I can just be there for you, hear your story, what you're going through, offer you our support, guidance, friendship, right? We're no fence friends here. No fence friends. Remember when I talked about that? Fence friends that stay on the fence, that don't 100% come to your side, you know? So there may be some victim blaming going on in there, or maybe they're still, anyway, they're on the fence. We don't have those people here. We're not fence friends. So I would love to see you in person and give you a hug if you can make it to any of these events. And until tomorrow, sending lots of love and strength to any of you still in the darkness, trying to make your way to the light, which is waiting for you. I promise you, you're not alone. It is here. I made it. I'm the poster girl for surviving, thriving, overcoming. Here I am. Okay. I will talk to you all tomorrow. I'm going to go through and read the comments, and thanks for being here again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yay!